Anybody want to jam? Is it recording? I think. Okay. Let me get rid of my music. I got so many windows open. What is going on? There we go. Okay. Let me X out of some of this stuff just in case it makes it harder for everybody. No. Leave. Leave. Okay. There we go. Internet connection is unstable. Am I glitchy to anybody? Glitchy, glitchy or frozen or anything?
Not to me. Not there right now.
No? Okay. Cool. How's everybody doing?
Good, good.
Good, good. Okay, who do we got? Helen, Marina, Jaden, Trisha. Did I hear somebody yelling out? Who's that?
Yeah, I told my husband to stop. Hi.
Oh. Stop it. Stop it, Luke. Stop it. Hi, Jaden. Hi, look at everybody's beautiful faces. Everyone's waving. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Just because I'm the one who opened up the room, I don't want to feel like the only one that has to add value. There's a lot of you that are like running ads and stuff right now, and there's a lot that you know as well too that can help everybody else. So the really nice thing about the Zooms is that it automatically picks up on your, let me just turn this off. It automatically picks up on your voice and it will switch the camera over to you. So if anybody has anything to say, just speak up and the camera will just go right on you. Okay? So tonight I'm gonna do kind of like try and cater it more to like the newbies and like just the basic understanding of like the ads manager and the placing of the ads and like how to know when to keep them or when to turn them off, what you're looking for in the numbers, all of the little functions and like the little like buttons and stuff that you can change as well too. Just go over some of like the really basics so that we make sure that everybody's foundation is like really solid. Obviously if the foundation's not solid, you know, I know the last couple of times I've been on a screen share, there has been like really high cost per leads for a couple of people. And so like just really having a good understanding of like what we're looking for so that we don't waste money and obviously so our business grows as fast as possible, right? So for people that are running ads right now and are fairly comfortable with everything, definitely chime in and help out whenever you can. And if it's like a little too basic for you, I'm sorry, too bad. Okay, let's just see. We got Brittany on. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Fong. Hi, Nadia. Okay, cool. So we've got a couple more people. Does anybody want to share anything or like say anything before we get right into it? Any wins? Anything that's anybody's really excited about?
My body's hurting from exercising again. That's my win.
That is a win. Did you go to your yoga? Did you go to yoga or were you just like just a regular exercise?
That's on Monday, done it. The kids been on school holidays, so I've sort of slacked off.
Yeah.
I started back in again, and now it's like it hurts.
Yeah. The first few, right? The first few definitely do. I know. I went to the gym for the first time, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks ago. And I was like, I did all like arms. And I was just like, I went to like lift my glass of water the next day. Just a glass of water. And like all underneath my arms, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I feel ya. I gotta gaining some muscle here. I'm like this long, lanky avatar. I need some muscle going on here. Trish, did I hear you say something? Do you have a win?
I was just being smart. All I said was your yoga and my Toastmasters.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah.
Gonna be in tip-top shape. Focus on the EMCC.
Yeah.
So the EMCC, everybody is like part of the Michael Burnoff that we've been doing, where he will maybe do like another training on that in specific and try and relay some of what Michael's been teaching us. But it basically breaks down to like the very 4 core things that really affect, you know, like a lot of the other areas, like even when we think like it's like relationships or financial or like different areas that we still categorize and we still name them something, they still boil down to the same 4 things, which is emotions, mental, confidence, and communication. So he really focuses on like strengthening those 4, because even if you strengthen those 4, they'll still affect your finances. They'll still affect your relationships, even though we don't label them under the same name. So this guy's amazing. He's like, oh my God, he's like one of the best neuro-linguistic specialists in the world. And so neuro-linguistics, like language, like words. And so it's just like, he's just phenomenal. He knows how to just like get in there, and like he tells these stories that just like really unravel you. Like they peel you back like an onion almost. They take you on a journey, and he's phenomenal. So there's just one thing I want to say really quickly about him before we get into the ads. He was saying that there's like 30,000 words in in the world, and we only use, what was it, girls? It was like 2,000 or something. Oh no, the average person uses 700. 700, and there's 30,000 words. You know, it's just like, it's just.
How many were emotional? How many of those words were actually emotions as well?
3,000.
Yeah, there was like a huge portion that were like all like negative.
80% of them were negative.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's only like the tiniest amount of positive words, like in the English language anyway.
Yeah, so anybody who wants to take like a really, really, really good course to get to know yourself, get to know your past, get to know all of the stories and the emotions that you hold on to, really dig deep, make yourself cry, really have those moments where you're like, holy shit, why does he make it so sound easy, you know? Then I would highly suggest Call to Action, for sure. That's what it's called, is Call to Action. I'm sure that at some point all of you will be putting you through at some point, but it's like definitely a good starting point for sure. Okay, cool. Anybody else have a win or anything that they want to throw in there?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Go for it. You've got a couple.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of wins, I did my second go live today.
Yes, you did? I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it. You were like in the zone, girl.
Yeah, it felt good. I actually thought about it all day at work today. It was constantly distracting me as to what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
And it went way off topic even as to what I had planned, but that's okay. But I would love if people can go in and just leave their wins and their comments on there as well. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, totally. You know what I noticed about yours is like, not only did you look like really relaxed, but it's like your message was like actually coming through you. Like that's why you didn't really have to think about what you were going to say, right? You talk about how you like feel like you went off topic a little bit, but it was exactly like it was exactly the message that you were supposed to give, right? And so I can't remember, I think it was Trish maybe I was talking to about this, but I was like talking about like when we're going to shoot our videos or whatever, it can be really helpful if we don't like build that up and be like, okay, like I'm going to go and shoot, and like this is the day and this is the time, and then you like build up and build up and build up and build up. Sometimes it's better if you're like, you know, I'm going to take the family for a hike today, you know, or like we're going to go check this out or whatever. And you just go about like your daily life. And then all of a sudden in the moment, it'll just be like, you'll have this inspiration that'll be like, now, this is the moment, right? This is the moment. This is the place. You won't plan it necessarily. Those are some of the most beautiful ones, because it's like you're in the zone, you know, like you're in that moment of inspiration. That inspiration actually like shines through you, you know, and that is what I saw with yours today. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good job.
That's why I'm kind of like at a standstill with my next ad, is because I have like these.
You're like that all the time, Helen.
Say again?
I was just saying with my next
You're like that all the time when you speak. It's so natural when you speak.
Helen?
Oh, I'm getting feedback here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorry.
Maybe it's me.
I'm just trying to talk.
You're trying to talk? Oh, it was Ange's. Yeah. I think Ange was trying to tell you that you're always like that, though. You're always tapped in. You always seem very comfortable. Don't doubt yourself. Don't listen. Don't listen to it. It's evil. It's trying to tear you down. Oh, look it. We have baby faces. Jaden, can you take your mute button off and say something so that we can put the baby... As soon as you make a noise, when your mute button's off... Here, I'll unmute you. There.
Hey.
Make a noise. There. Oh, hi, Chloe.
She's whinging a bit. Ooh.
Hi, Chloe. Oh, mwah.
Say hi.
You're so pretty. Did you have fun in Thailand? What is it? Siwaha? Siwaha? Am I saying it right or am I totally butchering that? Sawaha?
Can you say sawadika? Sawadika?
Oh, she's so cute. Okay.
Is it working, that thing?
The thing on the screen?
The thing thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the screen.
Does it work? Yeah?
Yeah, you've got the big screen, girl. You want to do a little dance? Yeah, there. Oh, and I see your nice machine over there. Got the nice platinum model. Hey, got it all hooked up. Very nice.
Not the cake, but it's nice.
Very
Not
nice. Okay. All right, let's get started. Let me just put that on. Okay, so maybe what we'll do is I'm just going to share my screen. And then I'm going to pull up. Can everybody see my screen? Yep. Okay. Let me just put this down. So I'm just going to pull open Ads Manager. Actually, you know what? The easiest way to do that is. And Jaden, I know you probably haven't maybe been in this one yet. I don't really remember if you've been in this one yet because I know you were traveling there for a bit and... Oh, look who popped up first on my newsfeed. It's Fong's little girl at her violin lessons. What a cutie. She looks so much... Hey?
Fong, are you doing Suzuki method? Is Fong doing Suzuki?
Fong, are you there? Fong?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here?
Yeah, she's
Got two kids.
I'm here.
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yep.
All right.
Can hear you now. Did you hear her question?
Yeah, I heard. I answered her. Yeah, she's
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the best ever.
Is that what your
Yeah.
kids do too?
Yeah, my
Yeah,
daughter's going through it now, yeah.
Yeah. How old is she?
She will be 5 in March.
Okay, my daughter turned 5 last May, so she just started. She just got her bow on the violin, just like she started in September. So she just this month.
That's cool, yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
just had
love
a-
that. Look at this look on her face. She's like so focused and like in love with it. I love it. So beautiful. She's so tall, hey, Fong, for 5? She's tall.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, yeah.
Yeah, she is. She's tall.
Yeah, you see her hair, it's like a short hair. Her brother actually cut her hair last summer.
Her brother cut her hair?
Remember? Yeah, her brother cut her hair. They were playing in their room. They were cutting their hair, and it was like she was like half her head was like bald.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's better now. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we used to do that with Barbie dolls, but I guess I'm lucky I didn't have a little brother that cut all my hair off. Yeah, she looks so much like you. Oh my gosh.
I did that with my cousin when we were little.
You cut your cousin's hair?
We cut our both hair.
You cut each other's hair? Oh
We
my
were sitting
gosh.
under the table.
Your
and
parents-
then we cut first and she would cut mine.
Your parents were probably like, oh my God.
They were like, oh, it's kind of quiet. And then there's like a whole bucket of hair.
That's always when you know, right? You're like, it's too quiet. Okay. Oops, that's not where I wanted to go. That's not at all what I was doing. So I'm just going to go in here really quickly. So let me just double check who all we have on. Okay, so a lot of you are actually going to be fairly familiar with quite a bit of this stuff. So maybe, I thought there was going to be a couple of those other, of like the really new people that are in that chat as well too. I was hoping that they would leverage this so that we can get everybody straightened around. But if this stuff is kind of too basic for some of you, we can also, you can just like, you know, shout out or ask questions or whatever. And then we can tailor it to whatever we need. I guess like my vision is kind of like, you know, this business is like really simple, you know? It's really simple in terms of like making an ad, placing the ad, getting the traffic, getting to the webinar. Like it's very basic. But like there are certain areas that can be a struggle, right? Mainly with ourselves and our own discipline and like really getting ourselves to do the actions that we need to do. But on the other side of that as well too, it's like in the beginning, there's like a lot of these things like with the ads and the targeting, getting the videos just right, getting confident on camera for a lot of us is a really big one in the beginning. Obviously, we know that we need these good videos because the video is essentially what sells, right? So I guess maybe like my vision is for us specifically on the Ninja side, on Caitlin's side, to really like bind together and like help each other as much as possible and make sure that we don't leave anybody behind, especially the newbies, because I know that sometimes it feels really uncomfortable to speak up. You like everybody else seems like they know exactly what's going on, and like sometimes you can feel like the only one that's like doesn't want to ask the question because you don't want to slow anybody down, and you feel like you should just know, right? And so it's just not like that, right? It's just not like that. Even though it seems like everybody has a feel for what's going on around them, that's just not the case. I can promise you, even to the point where I've gotten to my business right now, where I've been able to quit my job and I actually consider myself to be like fairly successful and I have made a decent amount of money with Enagic so far. I still, the point that I'm at, because I had such a good video when I came out strong, like that, it was a really good thing because it made me a lot of money and it got me up, like, you know, it got me like the promotion levels and stuff, and like I was able to quit my job, but it also kind of hindered me as well too. And what I mean by that is, like I kind of shot up so fast that there was a lot of stuff that I had to like learn really quickly, and like I just kind of like made do with what I knew how to do, you know? I was like, okay, this way is working, we'll go with this for now, and like it seems like everything's going good, and everything is going good, and I have learned a lot, and I am able to help people with that now. But I guess what I'm getting at with this is that even though it looks like I'm like, you know, I'm almost pretty much at 5A and I've been able to quit my job and all of that. So, you know, like I must be doing well and I must know all of it. I don't, right? There's still a lot of things that like I ask Trish, you know, I'll go to Trish and be like, Trish, right? And like, help me out. I forget, or I don't, you know, somebody will ask me like, oh, what does this function do? You know? And I'm like, that's a really good question. I don't know. We got to test it, you know? So, never be afraid to like come forward and to ask questions. Never be afraid to raise your voice, because it is a big wide world. We as a team are still relatively young. Like, and what I mean by that is, you know, we've only been around for like 15 to 18 months. So even like, you know, the Jen and Gords, the Caitlins, the Jeffs, I mean, obviously Caitlin and Jeff were the two originals, right? Caitlin being the original. Even still 15 to 18 months is not like that long in theory, right? So, and like our business model, the way that we work as a team is like off of each other and helping each other. So at no point does anybody know it all. And like Facebook is always evolving and they're always changing, you know, like how they're able to optimize things. They're always changing all these different functions on us. And so I guess my main message is like, really don't be afraid to speak up. Don't feel like you're bogging anybody down. Don't feel like your question is silly. Don't feel like you're too new. If everybody else is talking about like conversions and cost per leads and all of this stuff that sounds like gibberish. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I just got some feedback or something. Just please, please, please don't be afraid to speak up, because my vision, Caitlin's vision, all of yours' visions are big, right? We've got big, big visions. And the only way we can do that is if we're all working together. And so I've been talking to Trish about this, is like, I feel that our team trainings on Sunday are amazing. Jeff is amazing. All of the other leaders are amazing. The mindset is very important. Very, very, very important. That's why we're doing Michael Burnoff and all of this. But there is also another side that we would like to try and incorporate, and that's more of the technical side, right? That's more of this kind of stuff, like more of the ads, more of the numbers, more of the actual like videos and like how to write and how to speak and all of that, like how we can really amplify that, because the mindset is very important and the daily habits and all of that is really important, but so is the technical. Because the technical is very much what makes us our money as well too. So they have to go in hand. So right now, this is what I've noticed personally anyways, and I'm not slacking on anybody or our business or a team or anything like that. But there's a gap and we need to bridge it. And so, yeah, so if everybody can come together and help bridge it and we can all help learn from each other, I think that we really all need to focus on videos as well too, you know, like getting on Zooms like this and like really sharing ideas. Like if there was like, you know, like maybe an article that you read, or if there was like a little video that you saw on Facebook, or maybe a little video that you looked up on how to be a more influential speaker, or how to appear bigger on camera, or how to overcome the fear of public speaking, or speaking for people, or whatever, right? So always be looking for those little things as well too. Always be like Google searching and like, you know, like little workshops maybe, or whatever's going to add value, right? And so I think that also getting on like these Zooms and doing like silly, goofy exercises like la 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 la, you know, like silly. It's silly. I know that it doesn't really like add to your business per se, right? But when we can be open and silly and laughing and loud and like exaggerating and like all of this kind of stuff is what's going to help us bring energy to our videos, right? I'll speak personally for myself. I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always loud. I wasn't always extroverted. I wasn't like expressive with my hands. I didn't like fluctuate my voice. I didn't, all of that kind of stuff that I'm able to kind of like bring onto film now. Like when I do a video, I can turn the energy on, right? It wasn't always like that. It takes practice. But again, I'm going to go back to the core and I'm going to say that everybody's business starts at their video, right? So where do we need to get really good at? Where do we need to get really strong? Our videos. And I know that a lot of people get really nervous on camera and stuff. Not everybody, but some people get really nervous. The only way through that is to do, right? Practice, practice, practice. And so I think that if we're all together and we can all be silly, goofy, fun together, let me just see here, then it will help all of us as well too. So 2018, let's like basically rock it, you know, like that's kind of like the vision that I have. And I'm sure all of you have as well too. I mean, that's why we're all here, right? We're all here for the same reason, but different reasons. Like our driving force is a different reason, but we're all here to absolutely rock this. And we all see everybody having success. So there's no reason why we can't all rock this. The business works. The system works. The product is beautiful. The team is amazing. There's literally zero reason for it to not work. The only reason has something to do with us. It's either the way we're portraying our message, it's the way that we're showing up in our business, it's how serious we're taking it or not taking it, it's the voices inside of our head, or it's our fear, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, those things we have control over. That's the beautiful part. right? If it was something out of our control, like a magic or the business or the compensation plan or product or whatever that's out of our control, that's a problem, right? That's when you're like, you start like reassessing your business. When the only variable is you have complete control over that variable. So are you going to let something as small as making a video stand in your way of the life you've always wanted? I'm not just talking about like $10,000 a month, right? We're not thinking that small. That is not the end goal at all. The end goal is like $80, $90, $100,000 a month. Literally.
I like where you think.
It's right. If we're thinking like where we're at 5, 10, 15,000, too small. It's too small. We are going like that way, like way up. So again, now that we're thinking like that big, because it is totally possible with this business, especially when you start getting past 6A, which a lot of people don't really focus on because the main levels are 1A to 6A, so it's easier to start there. But the real magic happens after 6A. When you start getting into that guaranteed income, even if you do nothing forever, you never touch the keyboard again, you get guaranteed incomes for life, which you can also pass down to your kids. So it's like generational wealth. You can pass down the business and they can keep getting the what do they call that? Like residual income, right? So it's big. It's really big. So when we're thinking on a really big level like that, $100,000 a month, it's like, am I really going to let not being good on camera stand in my way? Am I really going to let my mindset stand in my way? Am I really going to let my fear of not being worthy enough or not having enough to say stop me? Do you know what I mean? Don't those things seem so small, especially when they're in your control? It's like that. If that is the only thing standing in your way, then find a way to master it. Do whatever you have to take, or do whatever it takes. Do whatever you have to take. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, now I'm blabbing, but that is like the end goal. So I guess that's where I'm going with it, is like more of the vision side, right? And I know that in the ninjas group, see, here's the unfortunate part, because all of you that have showed up, Trisha, Helen, Marina, Jaden, other Marina, Fong, Brittany, Nadia, Charlene, Lean Machine, and Ange. Sorry, Ange, I didn't mean to put you last. It's just the order of how I was reading it.
Karina,
is Karina here?
She's trying to get on, but her internet keeps freezing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so she's trying really hard, but it's just not working for her. So she might show up here.
Okay. And Karina. So then I'll throw Karina's name in, and she just got introduced into the damn group today, right? So here's the unfortunate part a little bit. All of you who showed up are actually serious builders, right? You're actually serious builders. You're champions. You're leaders. You have it. And I'm not saying that there aren't a few in the group that aren't leaders. They could be at work, like Carrie, and there's a couple of other people that legitimately are at work and they're busy. The unfortunate part is the ones that really need it are not here, right? So the ones that show up are going to be the ones that have the results. And so I encourage you, if you build relationships with these people outside in the chats, really try and think about the questions that you're asking them. If you haven't seen their name in a while, use their name. Make them feel special. Hey, great to see you again. Good to have you in the chat again. Whatever it is to bring them back in. We all need to hold hands. We all need to try and take the person to our right. That's not my right. The person to our left and the person to our right. Take everybody with us, okay? We need to do 2018 strong. We have to, for each other. We're all here. We're all spending money. We've all made an investment, right? We all have monthly, sorry, I have something pop up on my screen that was distracting me. We all have monthly costs now, right? Everybody gets that? Yeah, because everybody sees their money go out. So what do we need to do? We need to bring money in. Obviously, I know you're saying, well, yeah, actually, that's what we're here for. I know it sounds really obvious, but I'm just reminding everybody. And the way that we do that is to get serious. We get serious with our business, we get serious with ourselves, and we get serious with the people that we surround ourselves with. I know we've got the Skype group, but mainly in the trifecta, in the ninjas group, we're all a lot closer. right? So let's really like focus in on exactly where we're stuck. Be honest with yourself, find out where you're stuck, and ask for help.
Okay, I have a question then.
Yeah.
So I what I want to know is I've got ads running and
Yeah.
I'm like adding money to them, like, you know, the daily amount.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure when to stop because the last time I added extra money, those ads were running for $3 or something. But
Mhm.
when I added money to it, now one of them is running at $4 and something per lead instead of $3. So do I just stop there and just don't touch it now, or like do I wait a while and try again, or like what do I do?
Yeah, I mean, when they're running at like, you know, when they're running at like $1.50 to $2, even $2.50, definitely keep putting money into them. When they start raising to like $4.50, $5.50, I would let them see if it stabilizes. It's still not a bad price. $4.50, $5 is still not a bad conversion rate. But instead of putting more money into that one, I would actually put more money into testing. If you're going to spend another $5, I would put it into something on the side to be testing against it to try and find that $2 converter, right? Yours have been doing really well. I can't get any of mine to convert at that right now. Not at all. Mine are converting at like 354, 455. Like, yours are doing really good.
No, they're at like 375 and 450 or something. I haven't
So
checked it tonight. But
they're raised up a bit?
Once I raised it up, like not last night, the night before.
Okay.
When I raised
And
up
did
a
you
bit,
raise?
then
And did you raise by the 20%?
No, I did 15% because I wasn't sure.
So
So
you went
I did
lower.
a little bit less just in case.
Okay.
I was scared to do anything.
Okay. So I would just leave it. I wouldn't actually take away from it. I wouldn't add to it. I would just leave it and let it stabilize and like just see. It could have just been that day. It could have been the traffic on Facebook wasn't as busy, or it could have been like more people were advertising on that day for some reason. So just let it stabilize, and then let's look at it again in 24 hours and see if it's raised or what it's done. If it goes much above 5, I really would like start considering. I mean, it depends on your gut feeling. I have left them at 5.50, but really as soon as they start getting over 5, it's almost like, you know, it's almost wasting money, I think personally. But yeah, so I just want to back up for a second and just explain to anybody about that 20% thing, because I know that probably went over some of your heads. When we have ads, let me get in here. When we have ads that are doing really well, so everybody can laugh at how high my conversion rates are now. And you can see that I'm just as normal. And see, and you know, it's the funny thing is like, I've tried testing now like a couple videos on the side other than that baby on my backpack. And like, I can't get traction with any of the other videos. Like I can't get good conversion rates. I can't get anything like really producing. So I've like gone back to the baby ad, right? So it's like, again, I'm just expressing to you, like, even at the position where I'm at, where everybody's like, oh, she must have it all figured out. She's doing so well in the business, you know? I even still, without that one good solid ad, I would be in the exact same place where some of you are still struggling right now, right? Still struggling to find the one that's like the magic converter. That's why I know it's annoying to hear that we just need to keep testing, but it just goes to show you that that one ad was able to take me from 0 to 5A, quit my job in 5 months, and probably almost, if I had to put a number on it, close to $27,000, right? In that one ad. And within like the first couple of months don't really count because I didn't get traction. So I'd say within about 5 months. So like, when they say you're literally one ad away from a $10,000 month, they're right. You just don't know when it's just going to be boom. There it is. There's your converter, right? Exactly like Marina Stewart she had her conversion rate down to like something stupid. It was like $1.65 or something like that. And when I looked at it, I was like, how are you doing that? You know, like mine are not converting that good. Yeah, see, look at this one. I got to shut that down. 804. No good.
You get some ads too that convert really well, but you're not getting quality leads either.
And
so even if they run a little bit, but you've got quality leads coming through, then leave it go. You know what I mean? It can be converting at $1.50, and you've got a lot of people going through and clicking on your ad, but no one's following through and no one's, coming into the business. Then that's not really great to have that either.
You're absolutely right. I love that you said that. See? Shout out, everybody. That's perfect because that's a really, really good point, right? And that is the hard part about right now. With the new system, it's going to be totally different. That's the hard part right now is that you can't really narrow down what lead is coming from what ad, for instance, like out of these 4, right? I can't really see out of all of my workshop signups, I don't actually know which one is coming from which one, right? So this $8 one could actually be bringing me a ton of good leads, and I think it's too high, right? And I could shut it off versus my lowest one right now happens to be at 420. And I'm like, oh, that's actually better than all my other ones. So I'll leave that one running or I'll put more money into it or whatever. But those leads could maybe be not as qualified or follow through as good as the higher one, right? So that's where the new system. And
Ashley, can I touch on that?
Yes, please do.
Usually what I'll do, when your ads go up to like $8 or whatever, is, I'll have probably usually anywhere from 4 to 6 ads running at a time, and then I'll go back, when you get your comments on your ad, is try to go back, and sometimes you can actually figure out where that comment has come from which target, and then I'll take that into account and I'll divide it out for my cost per lead. Yeah. Right?
So how do you narrow down where the comment's coming from?
Well, because I only have anywhere from 4 to 6 ads running at a time, and they're totally different targets.
Okay.
Right? Like I'll have, so I mean, if you're targeting sports, for example, and it's men and women, you can't really tell, but sometimes you can tell where the lead has come from.
Yeah, for sure.
Not all the time, but sometimes you can. So if I have an ad that's running higher and I take a look at their comments, I'll backtrack, try to figure out where it came from, and then I'll take that into account before I shut the ad off or on.
Yeah, totally.
Keep it running.
Yeah, and that's a really good point too, right? Because you get a ton of more info. It's like I probably get close to 10 more infos. So we do actually, those do all count as leads as well too, right? They've reached out to you, you have their contact info, you actually go right into their inbox. It's actually even a little bit better than, well, I don't want to say better than, but definitely equal to, right? Because then you go right into their inbox. So for sure, we have to factor those into the cost as well too, because they count as leads, definitely. But the new system is going to just straight line. It's just going to straight line the whole process because it's all going to be linked to exactly where it came from. It's going to be so clear. It's going to be so nice. So this is showing less than a minute. I was just going to say, should I open up another room? We kind of just started getting into technical. I know not everybody's going to be able to stay. Probably some are late wherever you guys are.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, for anybody who does want to stay for a little bit longer, I am going to open up another room because I still do want to touch on some of these technical, this is really good stuff when we start getting into explaining all the technical side, right? Obviously, we can't do it all tonight, but a little bit longer for anybody who wants to. Just click on the next link. What do we got? There's all the beautiful faces. Okay. Screen. Okay. Let me put this one down here.
Ash, can I ask a quick question before we get going?
Of course.
You know how, or Ange, you might be able to answer this question. One of the questions that Ashley and I were talking about today is usually if I place my ads and I start them to run at like say 6 in the morning, I can usually go in at 8 or 10 a.m. and see how much reach I have or something like that. And this week, for some reason, it's taking a full day to get any of my data. Does anyone, and sure anybody who's been doing this for a while, have some input on that?
No, that's really strange.
And does yours always update right away?
No.
Because mine
doesn't.
Mine's always a day.
Yeah,
So
mine only takes a day, a good day, yeah.
So if you guys are running a brand new ad and you go back into Ads Manager, you'll have straight dashes across the board.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Until tomorrow morning.
I haven't. Like I can go in, like just like I say, if it starts at 6 a.m., I can go in at 10 and see how many people have read that ad.
Are you bribing Facebook to favor you?
No, not at all.
You paying them a little extra?
Obviously, they haven't been favoring me because Monday and Tuesday, it's like I'm going like, what the heck? Is it not delivering or what? Like even today, I just shut the ad off because I thought it wasn't delivering. Yeah. That's the first time I had that happen back in October. So I just wanted to check with somebody other than you, Ash, to see if I'm doing something wrong or right here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're the exception to the rule. Everybody I've ever talked to, it's always been a day behind. And like it says right on it that it does not show today's data. Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
That.
But like if I go in, like say if the ad starts running at 6 a.m. and I go in at 10, it will say you have reached 6 people and you've spent 38 cents or whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're lucky. Right? I wish it did that.
I have a comment.
Yep.
Could it be because you put specific times in your ad? Because I know I don't necessarily say when I want, like, it's kind of random, right? So, but because you specifically ask what time you want your ad to run, I don't know. It was just a thought.
Yeah, it's a good thought.
I'm not sure.
Do you do that, Trish? Do you do the day parting?
I don't day part it out, but I always start my ad at, it depends, I'll play around with the time zones. I always start it anywhere between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. That way I know that I'm reaching the East Coast and the West Coast and kind of hitting those main...
Oh, so you do choose times though?
No, I just start, like when I start a new ad, like let's say on Monday morning comes along and I'm running new ads, I always start them at 6 a.m. And the reason why I do that is because then I know that the $5 is getting spent throughout the day and it's not getting spent at 3 in the morning, right? Because I'm getting more reach throughout the day than when I run out of money. Like sometimes if
that's
the
a
ad's
good point.
performing well, I'll run out of money at say 8 p.m., right? But sometimes if I start the ad at say noon, well then I'm running into the wee hours of the morning before my $5 is spent, and I'm really not having that much luck between say 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. You know what I mean?
That's so interesting because I actually get a lot of signups like overnight. You know?
Yeah.
Like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Like sometimes I wake up and there's already like 6 or 7 there, you know? So, but that's a good point because like really mainly I'm only targeting like Canada and the US. So like our time zones are not that drastic, right? So I don't know. That's interesting. Right. I haven't really thought of that, but can I just touch on, I just want to touch on for anybody, I know the word day parting, after I said it, I was like, that's just a fancy word, break it down, because some of you probably wouldn't have heard of it. It's really simple. It's just, it basically is that you can choose like what time your ads, you want them to go out. So if you want them only to show from like, you know, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then you want them to show again from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then you want to show them again from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then that's it. You can actually choose, they call it day parting. You can actually choose exact slots that you want your ads to deliver in. When you look at the statistics and you see like when it's busier, or if you've noticed for yourself when you get the most Infusionsoft signups, all of that kind of data, then you can actually choose. There has been people that have tested this, like Thomas and Nick and them were talking about it, and they said that they really don't notice that big of a difference like in their numbers. So, I mean, you can definitely play around with that. If you come across the term day parting, that's what it is. I just didn't want it to sound really flashy and fancy and feel like, you know.
I don't know if Facebook will optimize it as much if you're using day parting.
I don't think they will.
Right.
It would be hard for them to do that, right? That's a good point, Trish. That's a really good point. Okay, does anybody have anything right now, or can I dive into something else and just like look around in here and just a couple of cool reminders for everybody? Everyone's okay right now?
I have something I want to ask.
Yeah, of course.
As you know, I don't have a video up yet.
Not yet.
I mean, and you know, I've been struggling. There's so much going on, but anyway,
and you're going to LA.
All my excuses.
You're going to LA, and you're going to make videos with all of us beautiful people there.
I am, but I've been struggling.
You gotta want a video before then.
Is what? Sorry, Anne?
You'll be in big trouble. You're gonna want a video before then. You'll be in big trouble.
If she doesn't have a video before then.
Yeah, I don't. Well, yeah, I can work on that. But
it's okay. I know you've got stuff.
But what I was thinking of is because, and I think I maybe mentioned that to you before, but the live post really appeals to me. And the only reason I haven't done it is because I haven't done my video. And the truth is, what I'm trying to say is, Ashley, I'm scared of you, and
You're scared of me?
And I'm worried about what you're going to say if I do a live and I haven't done a story ad yet. and it's really the only thing that gives me is that I feel so self-conscious that I don't have a story ad out. And, you know, but I'm not doing a live. But now I'm realizing that the live would be for the people that are already there, right? So it's not like I'm doing an ad with it. So what do you think? Like, should I just go for it?
First of all,
scared of you? Or should I...
First of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for speaking your mind. Thank you for speaking up and not staying stuck, for being vocal with where you are, vocal with what you need help with. That right there is exactly what's going to get you unstuck. I know that took you out of your comfort zone, because I know you well enough to know that took you out of your comfort zone to speak up in front of everybody and to say it. So thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Okay, that's the first step. The go lives are great because it's really good practice, right? And they can be very scary for the first few. They actually do become kind of fun. Really having that understanding that the go live doesn't have to have any outcome, right? You don't have to like talk about the business. You don't have to try and get anybody to the workshop. It can be just like whatever's going on in your life. It can be a thought. It can be something that you read in a book, something you saw, like Marina's this morning. Marina's was like about the lady that she saw having so much fun singing in her car, and it made her laugh. And, you know, it's just really the idea behind the go live further down in your business. The reason why we do go lives is so that people can learn us, like us, and trust us, right? So all of these people, when we start having conversations with them, we want to add them to our personal Facebook. We want to do go lives on both our business side and our personal side. So they do have a purpose. Even though they're not talking about business and we're not getting them to any of the links, although you can still do them about business as well too, but the ones that you're not doing directly related to business, they still serve their purpose. And is Fong still on here? There he is. Fong is a perfect example of this. Yes, I worked with Fong for almost 6 years, but that is not how he found out about the business. Okay? It was off of one of my go lives. And it was intriguing enough for him to be like, "Hey Ash, whatever, I just saw your go live. Seems like you're doing really great. Let's chat. What are you doing?" Boom. Right? And so like that is just an example. Yes, I did know Fong, but that happens with other people as well too. right? Trish is another example on here. Trish held on to my link, held on to my name for 3 months. 3 months, right, Trish? Before you did anything with it. You don't even know why you kept my link, do you?
Oh, it was just your ad was so awesome, Ash.
Is that why? But what it is like over time, that's how the go lives, the posts, people read your words, they see your gratitude, they see your energy, they see your spirit, your personality, right? They learn your mannerisms, the look in your eye, all of that. All of that. Don't you think you can get to know somebody by their personality way better in a video or in a go live than through their posts? Their posts are also good, but they all go hand in hand, right? That's why we do them all. So right in the very beginning, the go lives, it's going to feel like you don't have a following, nobody's watching you, you don't even know if anybody's on. Then you get that one person that's watching, like Helen today. Helen was like, oh, I got my one viewer, Craig and Lisa, right? It's that way in the beginning, but you're building your audience. The more people that come to your page, the more people that you invite to your personal side, all of that kind of stuff, it builds. And the go lives are there for a very good reason. Sorry, Nadia, I'm really sorry. I'm really bad for just, I get in the zone. Okay, let me bring it back to where your question was. So I think for you, I think you started practicing videos a lot, right? You were doing them in your living room. I saw you do them. There was like another one you did in your bedroom. Then you did one outside when it was snowing. You started practicing and then you stopped. So I would consider looking at why you stopped. Maybe try and figure out, were you criticized by somebody? Or was there a certain negative, something that happened that somebody made fun of you, or a feeling or an emotion? Or perhaps, I know that you had a lot of family stuff going on. Perhaps it was something with family stuff, or something that just specifically felt overwhelming. Maybe you went to sit and write your story and you really didn't even know where to start because your life feels like this big hurricane and you're like, oh my God, how do I express this to people? I'm so overwhelmed. I'm just going to do it later. Right? I bet if you sat down and tried to pinpoint, I bet you could find it. I bet you could find your stall out point. Am I wrong?
Yeah, because if you're saying that the lives are intriguing you and you really want to do them, or you want to get out them and do them, and you're not doing them because you haven't done your story ad, that's really cool. Like, get out and do them. Don't be worried about not having a story ad. Don't not do lives just because you don't have video ad. Definitely do them. But if you're comfortable enough to get on and do a live on Facebook, then what is it that is stopping you from doing your video ad?
Well, I think it's also because the story ad has to be perfect, and as a perfectionist, I feel like it's never good enough. Mm-hmm. And with the go live, I can, I feel I can just be more myself, and I'm not. I guess
that's
it's not the video
then.
That scares me, right? I'm pretty
Screw the story ad. Skip it.
But that's the thing, yes. So I think it's just that the story ad, I feel like I'm not there because it's not where I want it to be.
Then don't do it.
You know what, Nadia?
A heap of pressure on that. You're putting a heap of pressure on your story ad, like you're building it up to be something that it really isn't.
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally agree. I know I do that.
Literally just do a video like a go live. Just think that's what it is, and just speak because you want to be yourself. You want to be like you are in your go live, in your video, because that is what's going to get people to come into you. You're being authentic. You're being yourself. That's what is going to get people to watch your video to start with. So think of it in exactly the same way.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what, Nadia? The thing is, you can write it, put it up, and then you can adjust it because you've got the edit button. So if you write it, put it up, just do 3 copies, decide, okay, this is the one, put it up, and then over time you can go up and edit it and make it better and do whatever you want with it. If you just pin it to the top of your page, don't make it an ad right away. Just put your story out and then go from there.
Yep, that's a really, really good point for sure, Marina. I'm gonna throw something at you, Nadia, because I think I know what it is. I think that you don't 100%. You haven't 100% gotten through your own story in your own heart, right? I think there's a lot of stuff that's still sitting there that you have left down there And in order to write your story, you have to go through it again, and you have to make sense of what your story actually is, who Nadia actually is, and that's uncomfortable. And that's where you stall, right? I know part of this as well too, because I remember there was a video that you made, and when I was giving you feedback on it, I remember saying to you, try and pull some emotion, like try and really like share something personal about yourself, share something about your history or like part of your story, and it was uncomfortable for you, right? And so
I'm going to therapy right now.
oh, honey.
Sorry.
And I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No,
I'm not trying to any of that, But this is where we have to grow from, right? We have to grow from our heart.
I feel exactly the same way, Nadia. I feel exactly the same way. I struggle really hard to have emotion in my videos because for a really long time I've blocked that off. I don't like feeling emotions, and I've blocked it off for a reason, because that is what keeps me going day to day. Because if I sort of tapped into that, I think that I would
fall apart
and be a disgusting mess.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to tap into that, and it's something I suppose that you've tried to block off for a really long time and try and just not think about. So that's been a really big thing for me since I've started as well, is really just slowly taking that wall down and realizing that I can be able to look back at my past and the things that have happened and be okay with it now, because that was then for me to get to unlock that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's hard because life is a roller coaster, but my ride is not done yet. I'm still on the ride right now, so yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think
makes sense.
I think that for you, I think that the story part would actually be important, even if you don't post it, right? I think for you, I think the writing of it, the discovery, the journey itself, I think is going to be a really important piece for you to be able to move forward, not only in the business, but in your life and in relationships, right? Having a better understanding of what those emotions have done, right? So I think
exactly, and just getting it on paper, amazing too. Like just writing it down and getting it on paper, whether you put it out as a story out or not. I think that's one I found once I started writing, it just kept coming out and kept coming out and coming out. I wasn't even going to use it, just getting it out. A lot of revelations come from doing that, and it seems to really move you through a lot of things. And once you've got it on paper and you write it down, you can sort of look at it in a different way. You're sort of looking at it from an outside perspective as well and going, wow, I really put so much emotion into this and so much sadness and anger and or whatever into this, and this. And if I just look at it in this way, it's totally different. Like it sort of takes the power out of it a lot more as well.
Can I add to that?
Please. You're the perfect person to add to it.
Well, I don't know if anybody's done more videos than I have. For starters, maybe you have. But here's a thought, right? Like, we're always talking at our pain into these videos, right? But if you look at your video, Ashley, it doesn't have the pain points, right? It's more of a motivating video, right? And you've read my last script, so why not take, and I haven't tested this yet, I'm just in the process of writing that script, but why not take just a little bit of your story, Nadia, instead of taking the whole story, and just weave that just little bit of piece into there, and then have the rest of it so it's motivating to other people who are watching. And I don't know if that's going to work or not because I haven't tested it yet, but that's my next video. What's your and Ashley? What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for sure. I do still definitely think that the writing and the actual journey is going to be an important piece, Because I think that if you don't go through that journey right now, Nadia, I think it's going to come up again. And then it's going to come up again. Right? And I'm not saying that it's going to be solved overnight, but just even having a better understanding of what is in there, right? Because right now you're pretending it's not real. It's not real. Everything's fine. He's there. I'm here. My family this. I'm in Calgary. My family's in Montreal. Pardon? Was somebody trying to say something?
That's why you have your ups problem as well. Was my life was, like you said, roller coaster. You're up and you're down and you're down, and it was really because you're trying to push so much. We can think about it needs to come out, and once it's out, you can deal with it, you know. And it's hard for it to come out and to get it out. Like, I completely know that. But I can tell you, once it's out, it's so much better. It's like, I can't even say it's like a weight lifted off your shoulders, because it's even so much more. Like, it's just this pit in your stomach that isn't there anymore. Like, you need to get it out and work through it. And that's when you'll see some really big changes in everything, you know, not just for this in your videos, but just in yourself as a person. It's huge. Like, really big. I've struggled with it for years and years, and seen psychologists and everything. And it literally, just in the past few months, being able to get it down and write your story out is actually what has given me the most benefit out of all of it.
Okay, so let's do a game plan from here, okay? So there's something about the Go Lives that's pulling you, right? Like, you feel like it would be more natural for you to just be able to get on and speak, and like you feel like that actually aligns with you a little bit better for now?
Yeah, a little bit. But again, that could just all be in my head, right?
Nope, not at all. It's there. It's there for a reason. It's an indicator. Listen to it.
Yep.
So, okay, so we've got a double action plan for you. So, for right now, forget about the ad, right? Like, I know you want to start making money and stuff, and I totally get that, and it will come, okay? But I think the most important piece for you right now is to do a couple of Go Lives, because that's where you're being pulled. It will be good practice for you on camera. It will get rid of some of those jitterbugs, and like, you know, you'll just be more comfortable, and probably that much faster you'll get your ad like that, right? In the meantime, while doing those Go Lives, do one a day at least. If you feel inspired to do 2 or 3, do 2 or 3, but do at least one. Okay? Can you commit to that? Yeah? Okay. And then on the side, grab a journal. Grab a journal or a little book or a little piece of paper. Do not try and work it into an ad. Do not try and write it as a story ad. It does not have to be a story ad. The idea is that nobody's ever going to read your writing. It's totally personal to you. There's a lock on it. Nobody has to hear any of it. And you really look at your story, right? Go through a couple of the different phases and really just put it out. Put it out on paper. You can burn it later. You can put it in a bowl, burn it. Nobody ever has to see it. It doesn't have to be an ad. It's for you. It's for you. It's for your heart. Okay? Deal?
Okay. Deal.
Yeah, 100% do that. It's the best thing. It'll be the best thing you can do. Trust me. And we'll be here for you to give you kisses.
Yes, we
hugs.
will.
Thank you.
Okay, lovely. See, that and that, like, oh my gosh. See, I just love that so much because...
Can I say something too?
Please.
I just want to say to Trisha, when she was talking about her ad before, like just weaving bits in and putting it in, like making it sort of motivational, I think that's a really good idea, Trisha. I think that's a really good idea, is to not so much just like stay on the pain point, put the motivation in there as well and get people pumping and like get them excited about it. Not like all, you know, sad and dreary. And I think a lot of people sort of get stuck on that and they sort of just keep going like, oh, this and this and this, and like you need to get excited and like put some stuff in there. Yeah, this was shit, but this is how we changed it, you know, and you can do it too, kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, I find, like, I mean, I read a lot of story ads, right? And the thing that got me, I always go back to Ashley's. And Ashley, I've watched your video like 100 times. And I always go back to that one. And what was it that grabbed me? And she motivated me, right? So, and I'm not harping on anybody's story ad, but I am all drear and gloomy and down my whole ad. Guess who I'm going to attract, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just, so like I said, I haven't done it yet. I'm testing it, but like I said, I keep going back to Ashley's ad, and we all know Ashley's ad works. But I can't be Ashley. I have to be me, and I'm not all bubbly like Ashley. I'm pretty cut and dry, and so I got to do it in my own style. So,
and you will attract yourself.
Find their own. What's that?
And you will attract yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. So,
it's so true. But like the other thing is, like, if you go back and you watch mine again, I do have pain points in there. It's just that I deliver them quick and not painful, you know? So it's like, if you go back, it's going to say something along the lines of, you know, a lot of us are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. We feel stuck. We know we're meant for something great. You know, all of those, working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, feeling stuck, all of that, they are pain points. But it's so quick. It's just enough to, you know? And like the other thing is like some people don't have a whole lot of pain points, right? So like I had, there's one girl, she's not super active right now because she's pregnant and whatnot. But she was saying like, I don't know what to say. You know, like I actually came from a good family. You know, my family had lots of money. I went to a really good school. I didn't have a bad childhood. I didn't come from a bad upbringing. You know, like I just really don't know what to say. But like I said to her, I said, that is your story. You know, it doesn't have to be all pain points. We still all can paint this picture about the reason why we're doing it. More time with the kids, or, you know, making sure that we can take care of the parents, or that we're financially stable for whatever happens in, you know, the economy or whatever, you know, it doesn't have to be a painful past.
Michael Burnoff touched on that today, right? He came from an average family, so he never had any adversity, same sort of thing, right? But you know, everybody's got to weave their own story into there, but maybe try not, like you said, yours are quick, not to make it so doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Because if you're writing it and you read it, you're going to be depressed.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And no, you're absolutely right. And like the thing is like people want to see somebody like, I mean, you don't have to be like bubbly and loud and blah, 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 you know, but generally they want, they what? You do it. You do it in your own way. Yes, you do. Look at that smile. That's bubbly. Tristy? Hey, Tristy?
I saw yours and Pong's video, and it was awesome.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun that day. Even though it was raining, it poured on us. That's good old Vancouver for you. You remember, Jaden?
But another comment, too, about like people that, you know, have a good upbringing and they have nothing special or struggles or whatever. I think also these people sometimes are, because everything was done for them or everything was so easy, that sometimes they just don't have the tool, they're missing something. They didn't have the struggle to actually be where they actually want to be. And so, you know, sometimes that's not even better necessarily. So maybe they can see it in that way, that, you know, they're still looking for something more because they haven't had that struggle before, and they don't even know how to get past that or get past their fear or anxiety because they didn't really have to deal with it before.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's what Michael Burnoff was talking about today. He said he came from such a good family that he never really had to face a whole bunch of adversity, right? And then he grew up and he went out into the world and like he got faced with adversity, right? And he really struggled at certain points when he was older because he had always had such a good life, you know? So yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And then some people, you know, some people have the good life when they're a little bit older, but we still all want more naturally as humans. It doesn't matter what situation. We can be billionaires and it's in us. We want more. Wherever we're at, we always want more. right? So we're all searching for something. So, you know, I just really like for people that think they don't have a story just because they don't have pain points, just because that's the way everybody's been structuring their ads doesn't mean that's the way that it has to stay, you know? And we got less than 10 minutes left. Doesn't mean that that's the way that it has to stay. That's just what people have been doing. Our ads can literally look like anything. Anything. We don't even have to give our story. Do you guys realize that? You know, you can go on there and you can be in a clown outfit or be in some whatever kind of, you know, and you can just like simply do something goofy fun and like not really relate it at all to your story. It can be just marketing, you know, just whatever's going to connect to somebody.
Do something that stands out.
Pardon?
You want to do something that stands out and be different. If everyone's talking about their story and being sad and gloomy and blah, 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 do something different. Like exactly what Ashley was just saying. It doesn't have to be your story. I did that one with the glasses, you know, in the pool, and that was just fun, but that didn't have anything to do with our story. It was just literally about the business and what we were doing. Kind of stuff. Like, it literally doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be exactly the same as what everyone else's is, because you want to stand out and be different. If you want to have people come to you, you want to be different to what everyone else is out there doing. And if all the ads are the same, then how are people going to come to you? You know, be different and stand out there and get something different out there.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you guys want the framework for an ad? Remember, Ashley, when we did that with Landon and Stapes? I've got it right in front of me for those of you who don't have it. Remember those 5 points?
The what, sorry?
Does that matter?
Yeah, absolutely. Is that in a PDF format?
No, it's just in my notes, and they're very spotty. They're just kind of...
I'm just thinking because
simple.
The chances of somebody actually remembering it visually when they try to go back and write their ad, like if you just show it to them really quickly, chances are they're not going to remember it. So we need to try and find a way. Maybe can you take a photo of like your written notes and then like upload it into the group? Then they actually have like a physical copy.
I can do that, but it's so short. Like it's, you know, like the framework is basically number 1, get their attention. Number 2, your problem and pain. Number 3, the turning point. 4, solution and happiness. And 5 was the call to action. I mean, I can post that in the group for those of you.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Just take a picture of it.
And like, trust your instincts, right? You can make, listen, I really want you guys to hear this. We can all make a video. We can make it sound, look, smell, taste like whatever we want. Whatever we want. There is no boundaries. So instead of looking at everybody else's, what's being done up until now, look in here. The answer's in there. I promise you. That creative side that's like, sees all these images flashing and here's the music with it and oh my god, it'd be so cool. Okay, then I came in the video and then, because we can video edit as well too, right? A lot of you are actually already really good at it. Really quick. Way quicker than me. I haven't even barely picked up my editing software lately. Shameful. But then when you're like, when you see these visions and you're like, oh, it'd be so cool if it looked like this and then I put in that and then what if I came in here and I was like, boom, and I said this, and trust that. Let it flow through you, right? Just because the videos haven't looked like that yet doesn't mean you can't set that standard. And they'll probably do better than half of the ones that are out there right now, because there's a lot of shitty ones out there right now. You know? And I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean we've gotten into this rut where everybody's looks the same. And now we're just, there's a lot of people doing the same.
Make it your own. Like, get out there and do something. If you have something crazy in your head, go and do it. Like, that's what I was saying before. Everyone's is the same. Get out and do something different and make it your own.
Yeah, and like, let's start playing around with like recording like our go lives, or recording, you know, like if we do like little interview styles, or if we do like even a workshop like this, even just having like, you know, a screenshot of this for 5 seconds, you know, all of this stuff is social proof. right? So, like all of this is very usable. Like we can use all of this kind of stuff. So let's try and also leverage each other instead of having to have all the answers ourselves. We can get other people on the screen with us. We can have fun with it. We can take little clips out of all of our go lives, piece them together, you know, all of that kind of stuff as well too. So we're at about just under 5 minutes. Is there anybody that's on here that has something like they really want to ask or are stuck on or like anything at all?
I do actually.
Okay.
I know I've talked to you about this a bit before about people that sign up for the workshop, like not contacting them.
Yep.
But I keep thinking, like, what if they went to the workshop and they still have questions, but they can't remember how to find me? Because I remember when I signed up for yours, I couldn't find you again, and it was just lucky that I remembered your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my domain name or my GoDaddy is different than it's my German name, so it's not my Facebook name. So
yeah,
should I reach those people now and just see if they have any questions? Or
you definitely can, absolutely. I mean, the first little while that I was in this business, I emailed everybody, like everybody I could find, everybody I could get my hands on. I didn't find that it made that big of a difference, to be honest. I don't think it made any difference, really. Now, that's just me. If you want to do it, if your heart would feel better so that you know firsthand you did it, you've done everything you possibly can to contact them, you know, you've used all resources, go for it. Test it. There's nothing wrong with it. Just remember that they do get Jeff's emails, right? So the only thing with that is that you don't want to like overload them because a lot of times there's like 5 emails that go out from Jeff, right? And so that is their point of contact. Jeff is on the other side of those emails. When he, like, have you ever read the emails or do you just delete them like I do now? I just delete them now. But they actually do ask questions. Are you coming tonight? Did you see last night? Did you catch this? How did this make you feel? Like he asks questions expecting people to answer. People answer. People email him all day long.
Well, remember the problem is I didn't realize I was supposed to say the emails would be coming from Jeff in my thank you video.
Okay.
Like I still need to change that, but I feel like people might not even know who this guy is, right? And they just think it's just like if they look in their spam folder, they're going to be looking for an email from me.
Okay.
Redo your video.
Redo it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it actually on my list of things to do tomorrow. So.
Yeah, for sure. Redo it and definitely add that piece in there for sure.
Okay.
Because that's an important one. But a lot of times people will know, right? Because it's related to a workshop or a webinar. So they'll see right on it or they'll open it or whatever. A lot of people do know, you know? Definitely like with things like that, try not to, I'm not saying you are, but try not to overthink them, right? So do what you can, do your part and let the system do the rest, right? Because if we try and find like, how do I make this better? How do I make this convert better? How do I do this? How do I get more info? How do I contact them? Right? The system is set up. The funnel works. It works, right? I know that the foundation, I know it does. It takes, 2 months, 3 months to really set that foundation where it's overflowing from the top, where your funnel is overflowing. Until that point, we're literally packing it. We're packing the funnel with people until it comes out the top, right? So
Less than a minute.
Less than a minute? Okay. The system does work. Try not to overthink it. Don't reinvent the wheel. Is that like the fast version?
Yeah.
Just trust in it. You won't be able to get every single person, but they will come through. They will poke through, I promise. Okay, we're less than a minute. Anybody else? Super quick. We should definitely do another one of these. Because I think that they're really good. And like there's still like Charlene's on there. Charlene, I know there's still stuff that you want to say. You're sitting there. I know you do. You're just not doing it. But we're less than a minute, so I think that we should make these weekly. So let's try and decide on a day, and we'll make it more focused around the tech side and how we really get ourselves moving and helping each other. And then we'll pick a day and we'll stick to it every single week. Everybody's on board?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea.
Lovely. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys, you're taking your business seriously. Everybody who showed up, you're taking it seriously. You will get the results. I promise.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.